जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Saturday. It is 26th of October. It's Kartika Masa, Damodara Masa, Krishna Paksham, Dasmi Tithi. So there are no events today apart from Damodara event. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरे कृष्ण। In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring so many questions. So to Sukadeva Goswami. So yesterday he was mentioning how the living entities during the annihilation time, where they would be resting and how they will come back again to perform the different kinds of karmic activities. Kindly explain all these things to me, and also the methods of which are entanglement and which are liberated activities. So please kindly explain all these things to me. Likewise, Yova Anusayinam Sargaha Pashandasya cha Sambhavaha Atmano Bhandha Mokshaucha Vyavasthanam Swarupataha. So, Swarupataha is the living entities in their original spiritual form, they always exist. How they would exist, where they would exist. So, likewise, these are the questions by Parikshit Maharaj. And then today, so he is mentioning questions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Lord is always independent. He is the independent. And then he will perform all his activities by his internal energy. So whenever he comes, he will come with his entourage, all his associating entourage, everything is independent. When Krishna comes, Krishna, Balaram, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, everyone accompanies Krishna. And all his consorts, everyone, are his internal potency, internal energies. He performs by all his activities by his internal potency. And whenever Krishna departs from this material world, again, this material world, Mayadhyakshena Prakriti, Suite Sacharacharam. So the material nature, the Prakriti, it carries out the activities of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Durga Devi. Srishti Siddhi Pralaya Sadhana Sektreka, Chaya Vyasya Bhunani Bhivati Durga. इच्छानुरूपम् अपि यस्य च चेष्टते स गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Icha. So, on the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Durga Devi carries out all these activities. But whenever Krishna comes, so he come on his own. So he is not tied up, he is not entangled to this material world by his activities. So Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know all these activities, all the Lord's pastimes. And once Lord departs from here in his personal form, but still he associates in the as a super soul with spiritual is the spiritual super soul is the always witness to the activities of the individual soul. The super soul is only one amsha of the Krishna. So these activities Parikshit wanted to know. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 8, verse number 23. यदात्मतन्त्रः भगवान् विक्रीडति आत्ममाययाम् विसृज्य वा यथा मायाम् उदास्ते साक्षिवद्विभुः Yata Atmatantro Bhagavan. Yata, as Atmatantraha, he is completely independent. He is the Swarat. No one can say anything. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like a person who has got his house, so there he can act anything, whatever he wants within his home. Likewise, so this entire cosmic manifestation belongs to Krishna. He can come and he can act as he wish. He is independent, fully independent. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead with six opulences. Aishwarya Vairagya Shobhoda Virya Shriya Puttam Aham Prapadye. All the six opulences. Yata Atmatantro Bhagavan Vikridati Atma Maya. And he enjoys his pastimes. All the different kinds of Janma Karma Chame Divyam Yevam Yo Veti Tatpataha Vikridati. These are all he enjoys his pastimes. And then Atma Maya, how he performs? This is by his internal potency, Atma Maya. So Krishna mentions Ajopi san Avyatma. Yes, Ajopi san Avyatma. Bhutanam. What is that one? Um, Bhutanam Ishwaropi san. Prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami Atmamaya. So he comes here, sambhavami Atmamaya, by his internal potency. And here he performs all his activities by his internal potency. We created the Atmamaya. He comes by internal potency, performs activities by internal potency. And then Visrujyava Yatamayam. Visrujya, once giving up Visrujyava Yatamayam. Yata, as he desires, Mayam, the external potency. Udaste Sakshivat Vibhuhu. Once the Lord leaves this material world, then Maya will carry out all her activities. And later on, Krishna, he is always as a super soul exists in the Yeshwara Sarvabhutanam Hruddhese Junatistati. Brahm and Brahmayan Sarvabhutanam Yantrarodhane Maya. So this is once again, as a super soul, he witnessed the activities of the Tam Jeva Karma Padivim Anuvattamanaha. So Buddhaste Sakshivad Vibhuhu. And Buddhaste, he remains Sakshivat, just as witness Vibhuhu, the Almighty Lord. So, can you please explain all these activities to me, O Sukadeva Goswami? Likewise, Parikshit is inquiring. Yata Atmatantra Bhagavan Vikridati Atma Mayaya Visrujyava Yata Mayam Udaste Sakshivat Vibhuhu. And how does the Lord carry out all his activities? So, translation for this verse is the independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency, and at this time of annihilation gives them up to the external potency, and he remains a witness to it all. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna. Lord Shri Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead and fountainhead of all other incarnations, is the only independent person. He enjoys his pastimes by creation as he desires and gives them up to the external energy at the time of annihilation. By his internal potency only, he kills the demon Putana, even though enjoying his pastimes in the lap of his mother Yashoda. And when he desires to leave this world, he creates the pastimes of killing his own family members, Yadukula, and remains unaffected by such annihilation. He is a witness of everything that is happening, and yet he has nothing to do with anything. He is independent in every respect. Maharaj Parikshit desired to know more perfectly, for a pure devotee ought to know well. Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Mataji. So here Prabhupada is explaining Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna being Supreme Personality of Godhead and fountainhead of all other incarnations. Ete chamshakalaha pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrarivyakulam Lokum Rudiyanti Yuge Yuge. So Krishna is the Bhagavan. All these Ete cha Amshakalaha. So Amshakalaha is the he expands himself into Balaram, and then Vasudeva, Sankarshna, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and all these four Pradama Chaturvyuha, and then Dvitiya Chaturvyuha. Later on, Karnadap Sai Vishnu, these are the Purusha avatars, Leela avatars, these are all Amshas and avatars, Kalas. Ete Chamsha Kalaha Pumsaha, Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam, Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Bhuda Bhava Samanvitaha. He is the fountainhead of all other incarnations. And he is the only independent person. He is the Swarat. He is the Swarat. He take and he carries out all his activities. There is no one can stop Krishna. If Krishna desires, he can do anything. He is the only independent person. He enjoys his pastimes by creation as he desires and gives them up to the external energy at the time of annihilation. So Brahma also mentions Sthiti Uddhava Pralaya Hetu Shashva Mahsaiva Nipita Bheda Bodhaya Namah Sthiti Uddhava Pralaya Hetu. There is a very beautiful thing. He mentions that Rasa Ite Namidam Chakrumeshwaraya. He creates, maintains, and annihilates. Rasayate. So that is kind of once again a kind of a rasa. Rasayate namaidam chakrumeshwaraya. The Lord performs those activities. These are all by his internal potency. So, and when Krishna comes here, by his Sambhavami Atmamaya, then why he comes? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudharam dharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. So these are the different activities. So in order to whenever the religious practices was in decline at the time, the Lord descends himself by his internal potency, and then he delivered the payas and annihilated the miscreants and to re-establish the principles of religion. And he comes in the every millennium. So there are different millenniums again, Yuga avatars and also Kala avatars, Leela avatars, Purusha avatars, many avatars. Yuga avatars are mentioned like a different colors. So white color, Shvetavaraha, Pitavarnam, and Raktavarnam. Like these are all colors are mentioned as the Yuga avatars. And Gauravarnam, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again, golden complexion. Suvarnavarna Hemango, Rangas Chandanangari, Sanyasa Kucha Mahasanto, Nishta Santi Paramanaha. So likewise, the Lord appears in a different activity, different times and ages. And by his internal potency only, he kills the demon Putana, even though enjoying his pastimes in the lap of his mother Yashoda. And when he decides to leave this world, he creates the pastimes of killing his own family members, Yadukula, and remains unaffected by such annihilation. Sometimes we may be thinking, how can one, even such a powerful person, can see when his family members are being annihilated? So sometimes they will come and kill each other, sometimes they protect each other. Mito nighanti bhodani bhavayanti enmitaha. So sometimes mito nighanti bhodani, they kill each other. Sometimes they protect. Bhavayanti cha enmitaha. Arjuna also sees. He mentions when he went to the Dwaraka at the time, he understands that everyone killed each other. And then Arjuna was relaying this message. Sometimes, after understanding, remembering the Krishna's instructions, he mentions this philosophical statement to Yudhishthira. So sometimes, on the will of the Lord, some people act as the friends, some people act as enemies. They kill each other, they protect each other. But Lord is unaffected by such annihilation. because when the Lord, when he spoke, it is on the transcendental platform, and the soul cannot be annihilated. It only changes the body, the dresses. So while taking off those bodies again, those dresses which are wearing for the pastime of Krishna's Dwaraka Leela or Vrindavan Leela, then Lord understands there is no loss here. And he wanted to take everyone. So just leave all your dresses here and we will go back to our home. So because our show is finished, nato not uh, तदा परमहंसानां मुनीनाम् अमलात्मनं भक्तियोगविदानार्थं कथं पश्येमि स्त्रियः. The Lord performs all his activities for the Paramahamsa. And there, Nato Natyavad Yata, this Kunti Maharani mentions uh, just like a actor who performs on the stage. Likewise, Krishna comes with all his entourage, and everyone is wearing one kind of dress. You are like this, you are this one, you are that one, like that. But whereas Krishna is the uh, Sambhavami Atma Maya. Atma is the Atma Maya is his by his internal potency. And also this further, he is the witness of everything that is happening, and yet he has nothing to do with anything. So he is the Upadrashtanamanta cha Bhatta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti Chapyukto Purusha Prakruteh Paraha. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Upadrashta Anumanta. He gives permission. He is the witness. And he is the Lord. Bhatta Bhokta. He is the enjoyer. And he is independent in every respect. Maharaja Parikshit desired to know more perfectly for a pure devotee ought to know well. So devotee wanted to know all kinds of activities. They are all divine. And whoever hears, they will be they will not take birth again in this material world. Miserable material. Dukkalayam ashashvatam. So that's why he performs divine activities. Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo veti tatpataha tyakva dehem punajjanma naiti mam yeti sodhyana. These are the again Krishna statements. My activities are they are divine, not like ordinary people activities. And he comes in his own form, in his own personal two-handed form. This is the eternal form. And whenever Krishna showed the universal form and then four-handed form and then back onto the two-handed form, Krishna says that this universal form, it is very difficult to achieve. Later on, again, this the four-handed form, that is also very difficult. The who are all the yogis, they wanted to see this four-handed form, the Paramatma form. केचिस्वदेहान्त हृदयावकाशे प्रादेशमात्रं पुरुषं वसन्तं चतुर्भुजं कञ्जरताङ्गशङ्का गदाधरं धारणया स्मरन्ति. So some people they worship the Lord in the super soul form with the four-handed, with having the four hands and with the different symbols. So this Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita in the 11th chapter. Uh, once he got back, once Krishna he comes from, um, he takes back his universal form and four-handed form, coming back to his normal two-handed form. Arjuna looking at that form, Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardhana. Tava Saumyam. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. This is the uh, very beautiful form. It Krishna attracts everyone. Drishvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardhana. So we also have got the man is made after the image of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is a two-handed form. He is always in the Goloka form, in the Goloka planet. And Krishna says that this seeing this two-handed form, it is not possible to anyone. Sudursham idam rupam drishtavan दृष्टवानसि यन्मम देवाप्यस्य रूपस्य nityam darshanakankshinah. All the demigods, they are always wanted to see this beautiful form of Krishna. It is not possible to see Krishna by any kinds of austerities or penances like that, but only devotees can see. So here, Sudurdisham idam rupam दृष्ट्वानसि यन्मम देवाप्यस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः. Every moment they wanted to aspiring to see the Supreme Lord. And he mentions Naham Vedaihi Natapasa Nadanena Nakejjaya Satya evam Viho Drashtum Drishtavanasi Mamyata. So, whatever the form Arjuna was saying, it is not possible. Naham Vedaihi, not by the Vedas. Na Tapasa, not by the Tapasyas. Na Danena, and not by any charities. Na Cha Ijjaya. Ijjaya is the worshipping, not by worshipping. And Satya evam Vidam Drashtum, Vido Drashtum. Satya evam Vido Drashtum. So it is possible without drashtam, drashtavan asi mam yata. So whatever the form you are seeing, so Krishna says that one. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. What I am in the form of Vedam Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayatakyam Barhavatam Sam Asitam Pada Sundharangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That is what I am. If you see, if you understand like me, whatever you are seeing, having the two-handed form, having the flute in hand, so that form, then only one can understand me. So that is one has to take. That is bhaktya tu ananya sekya aham evam vidorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. So only by undivided devotional service can the Lord be understood. Bhaktya tu sekya ananya sekya bhaktya tu. He is the Bhakta Vatsalaya. Only by devotion. He can be conquered by only the devotion. Without the devotion should not have any tinge of material desires, personal desires, no material sense gratification things, no business transactions. You do this thing, I will do that one. You fulfill my desire, I will do worship you. It is not such kind of thing. We have to with love and affection. But love and affection comes once we know the relationship between Krishna and the individual living entity. We are part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Father. We have got so many relationships. One living entity has got a father and like a mother and like a son, a friend, a lover, different rasas. So many relationships one can establish. All are the children of Krishna. And that love one has to render without any material attachments, free from material attachments, no personal enjoyment. Only our pleasure is to please Krishna. That is the only thing we needed. How to please Krishna. Bhaktatu ananyasekya ahamvevam vidorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena by scientifically he understands praveshtum cha parantapa he will enter into my pastimes. So these are the that's why one has to do mat karma krut mat paramo mat bhaktah sangavajjitah nirvairah sarvabhuteshu yah samam yeti pandava. So he says, Mat karma krut mat paramo. Now you work only for me. Whoever is working mat karma only for my sake. And mat paramo, just considering me as the supreme. And mat bhaktaha, my devotee. Sangha vajjitaha, leaving all the material attachments aside. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu, being friendly to all the living entities, not no enviousness. If there is enviousness, then again he will not namat shantim gachati. He would not have any peace of mind. Even though if he thinks that this person is my enemy, he is not acting favorably to me, then he will not have any peace in his life. Nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu yah samam yeti pandava. And he will definitely come back to me. Yah sa is that person, mam yeti, and he will come to me. Pandava, O Arjuna, so son of Pandu. Likewise, Krishna says, so he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the Vibhuhu. So yata atmatantro bhagavan vikridati atmamaya visruddhava yata mayam udaste sakshivat vibhuhu. So he is always independent. And he is always, he is tam jiva karma padivim anuvartamana. He, even the living entities in the womb of the mother, he is there all the time. Tasyopasannam avitum jagadichayata nana tanurvi chalacharnara Soham Rajami Saranam Hekuto Bhyame Ene Drusikatadasi Asato Nurupa. In the baby praised the Supreme Lord. There are very beautiful verses of this baby in the womb to the Lord. Okay, we shall time conscious. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit is asking all these kinds of intelligent questions. A pure devotee ought to know very well about the Lord. यथा आत्मतंत्र भगवान विकिरीडति आत्ममाय विसृज्यवा यथा मायम उदास्ते साक्षिवद विभुः. Okay, we shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is again a small letter. Can I request Sanchita Mataji again, please, to read this letter? Related to Mother Dvisha, April 29, 1970, Los Angeles.
Hare Krishna. My dear Madhu Dvisha, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of a letter dated nil and have noted the contents. Regarding our proposals for our Indian program of Krishna consciousness, I think it is best if you come here sometime soon at your convenience and we can discuss it in more detail. You also wanted to come here to take further inspiration from LA temple activities. So you may ask Mulji Bhai to come with you and also we can discuss together our future plans for India. I will be very glad to see you both at that time. Regarding Chitralekha, her husband is anxious to have her there and she is also anxious to go to him. So why is the matter being delayed? Even she has applied for immigration visa. That does not mean that she can be detained from going on a visitor visa while the immigration visa is being approved. She has got some urgent business there in Australia. So it does so does it mean that because of her immigration visa will take long time, she cannot carry out her important business immediately by means of visitor visa? So while she's awaiting for immigration visa, send her there with a visitor visa and get it done as soon as possible. The matter is being too much delayed. I don't think the immigration department will make such a law that she cannot go immediately to her husband just because her immigration visa has not been cleared. Anyway, that is my experience. So please do the needful. Hope this meets you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Shami Shila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. So we are nearly 7 o'clock. We'll come back to these reflections. Meanwhile, we start the Damodara second. If you are ready, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
And dear devotees, if you just turn on your videos offering any lamps to Krishna Damodara, kindly do so. Mataji, when you are ready, Mataji.
Okay, yeah. Shri Damodar Ashtakam ki jai. Shri Kartik Mas ki jai. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyolukaladhavamanam Paramrishta Atyantato Drutagopya Rudanta Muhurnetram Yugmam Mrijantam Karam Bhojayugmena Shatankanetra Muhuswasakam Patrirekhankakantha Sita Graivam Damodaram Bhaktibadham Iti Drikswalilabhir Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akhyapayantam Tadiye sthitagyesu bhaktirjitत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्त्वं श्रद्धावृत्तिवन्दे वरं देवमोक्षां न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशदपीह इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्याभिरस्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले वृतं कुन्तले स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्य मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनस्याभिरस्तम् अलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवदामोदर अनन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं बतानु गृहाणि क्षमामज्ञम् यदाक्षिदृश्या कुबेरात्मजौ बध्यमुते व्ययद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरद्दीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोद्धरायाथा विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयाय प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाभ्यतुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयाय प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाभ्यतुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयाय प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाभ्यतुभ्यम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री यशोदा दामोदर भगवान की जय। श्री
Jaya.
राधा दामोदर भगवान की
जय
जय।
जय
Jaya.
श्री दामोदर अष्टकम की जय।
जय।
Jaya.
Translation. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick of his mother's hand, in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with the ropes, but with his mother's pure love. I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, again I offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no other desire of any other liberation. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Damodarashtakam ki jai.
Jai, Jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully sung and read. And thank you so much, Hemlata Mataji and Asha Mataji, for kindly showing the lamp offering to Lord Damodara. Okay, so that is from Damodarashtakam. We shall gain back to Srila Prabhupada's letter, reflections. Again, Sanchita Mataji.
Prabhu, I can't see the letter. Oh, yeah, now yeah. Thank you. So yeah, in this letter, Prabhupada, he's writing to one of his disciples, Madhudvisha, and now I think they're in a phase where they want to bring the Krishna consciousness program to India, and they wanted to discuss like how it can be done. We know that like Prabhupada initially started the League of Devotees in Jhansi, I think in the 1940s, but it did not succeed. He had great faith that he will be able to bring a temple for Gaur Nitai there, and because there is Sanskrit college and there were so many acharyas there, Sanskrit scholars, so he thought Jhansi is of course Jhansi is a very holy place, so he wanted to start it there. He spent 6 months. In the meantime, where his business, like his pharmacy business, it got I mean people stole things from there, and he become like it was all he lost his business. Basically, his son came and said that the shop is no longer there, and so he lost materially, he lost his things, and spiritually also he wanted to carry on, but I mean he did not get enough help from there because he thought people were not spiritually inclined and they were not very keen to help him with his typing work and all the help he wanted. Like his first devotee was, I think, Prabhakar Acharya, but he did not help as he expected. So, and then he later, in his late old age, we all know that how he moved to America and then started the Krishna consciousness movement in America. So now that the movement is like a bit more steady in America, he now thinks how the program can be again started in India. So, but of course now he needs the devotees from there, because he thinks all his white devotees with shaven head and dhoti and kurta, when they come to India, Indians, like, we have such a mentality, like we've seen that when things people do in the West, then Indians, they like to follow. We have seen that material in so many things. So he thought if he takes these Western devotees, it will be really nice to. I think Indian peoples will be more inspired by the Krishna consciousness movement. So he wanted to discuss that in details, and regarding that, he wanted him to come and visit, and so that they can discuss that in more detail. And regarding another devotee whose husband was in Australia, and she had important business there, and she wanted to go and meet him, but because of her immigration visa status, which was taking a long time, she was not able to travel. So Prabhupada, like, not only he's a great devotee, he's like, he has got so much knowledge, other knowledge, how the material things work, the laws and everything, the society. So he was guiding this devotee that, like, if the immigration visa is taking a long time, does it mean that she cannot travel? They must be like, use your common sense, and like, there are visitors visa, which are like short-term visa, but if she has got important business, she can still travel. And I don't think like the immigration department should that still, I mean, that was the point, like the immigration department should not have any law which would, like, if somebody gets a visitor visa, that they cannot travel to a country. So he was guiding them, maybe these devotees, they were not aware. So was guiding them, so that Chitralekha, she could go and meet the husband. And because it was being delayed, Prabhupada was not happy about it, so he wanted the thing to be sorted out soon. So yeah, that's my takeaway, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly summarizing this letter. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everybody. Um, I just think, like, it's so wonderful how Srila Prabhupada was able to face so many setbacks and still continue on his mission. And it just shows that how much his inner mood of, like, wanting to, fulfill the words of his Guru Maharaj. Like, he faced so much, like, but he still continued, to the point that, had the 2 heart attacks, or he, he faced so many setbacks in India. It's so difficult. I mean, even when we face a few setbacks, it feels so difficult. But Srila Prabhupada, he just continued, and with so much humility. Like, after that, like, if you achieve what you've got, you're going to become so puffed up, and but he and he didn't even, like, he, I don't know, it's his character. It's so amazing. Like, there's so much to learn from that. Um, there's so much to learn from that character. That his struggles, and he there's so much. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't even understand it myself. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, we'll read this one, Mataji. So when we read Prabhupada's Leela Amrita, we understand everything of how he has gone through all those things. Yeah, it's a very hard work for an Acharya who is traveling all over the world for the sake of Janasya Krishna Vimukasya Deva, the Adharmasya Sudikhitasya. That is the compassion which is coming from the heart. So looking at all these living entities. So that is Acharya. One has to take such kind of labor to propagate Krishna consciousness to everyone. But when we have that kind of determination, and determination is not sufficient, one should have a purity, the tapasya. Without tapasya, one cannot act. Though one is trying to do activities, but it is not possible. The complete determination, complete surrender, and put those austerity and penances. The purity is there. It is not that I do it and everyone give me focus. Look at me, I'm doing that. It's just see, I wanted to show. Then what happens? There will so much of decline. It cannot progress further at all. So that is the nature to be avoided. But we have to give everything to propagate Krishna consciousness. Whatever, simply repeat whatever Acharya said. Simply repeat the process. Follow the steps mentioned in the scripture given by Acharyas. So that is Prabhupada took it and he went through so many steps at the sacrifice of so many things, inclusive of the family and all the material things. Then later on, when he is completely dehopi daivashakha kalu karma yavat swarambakam pratyamikshita eva sasuhu tam saprapancham samadhiyogaha swatman punarnabhajate pratibuddhavastu. When Prabhupada has got that ultimate objective, then he is completely in the uh, everything is like a material. Uh, he's completely under divine supervision. Dehopi daivashakaha kalu karma yavat swarambakam samikshita. All his senses, body, activities, everything under divine supervision. Very beautiful. Thank you so much, Mataji, for highlighting Prabhupada's hard work.
Prabhu, just I was thinking that when he became bankrupt and all his he was so detached and so much into Krishna consciousness that uh, he's completely in a different realm, like from what like we cannot think him as a material person, because when he was in Jhansi and then in 6 months he lost his business and became bankrupt. Like when his son came and gave the news, he said, like, that's very good, that happened because there's one less thing to worry about materially now. And slowly he gave up his family and then moved on completely into sannyas phase of life. So any normal person, even at like an age, if he loses his business, he would, or even money, they would think they will be like having a heart attack then. But he said there's one less thing to worry about, so that we can understand. The complete, he's a Shaktives avatar. He was just not like one of us. So that's why he could do so much, which is humanly not possible. We just, all the disciples, they're here, like, but maybe for so many years, but like it has not been possible to think like they can build 108 temples in 12 years and do so much. That not only temples, he has done so much all over the world, but what he could do was beyond human capacity. So we have to take that in that thing. He, like, when Krishna came, people thought he was a material, like, and impersonalists, they would think that he's like a boy, like with material, because he's shown his personal form. He, like in a human form, people think he's a material person, but same with Prabhupada, he was not. So yeah, that's why I wanted to add Prabhu here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
What is his mindset? No, it's gonna sound really weird, isn't it? Like, obviously, we like Srila Prabhupada, like it is compassion, um, it is, he wants to follow his guru's instructions. He doesn't let any of the negativity get to him. He doesn't let all the circumstances, which, like you say, a normal person might think is, oh my God, what is that power? Is it just, what's his mindset? Because it's remarkable, isn't it? Like, what's, I can't even explain the question.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
So like if you just bring out one particular pastime that you wanted to mention and highlight, and we will find that corresponding the quote from the scripture injunctions. Then you can explain it in the right way so that everyone can take it very nicely. For example, if Prabhupada has gone there, what is his commitment? Just to fulfill the desire of his guru and the desire of Krishna. That is the uh, duty that Prabhupada wanted to carry out. And what he did, all these steps, he went there by taking the risk of going in so many thousands of miles by the ship in so many number of days traveling. It's not that much easy. So how it requires tapasya is needed. Sujami tapasa vedam, grasami tapasa punaha, bibarmi tapasa vishwam, virime dusharan tapaha, dusharan tapaha. Tapaha, who is waking up early morning at 4 o'clock and getting ready by 4:30 and attending the Mangalarati, that tapasya. Prabhupada did that one, all these things, give the instructions given by the all the Goswamis. They do not even sleep for all these days. Nowadays, people are spending all the time for the materialistic things and sleeping. That body getting tired and body requires lots of sleep. On top of that, they eat so many things, outside things. Uh, Not to mention anything, but so many things are eating outside, and then what happens? The consciousness becomes dull. Whereas Prabhupada, he is preparing offering to Krishna and eating as the scriptures mention. Bhaktya Sutta Gruhitaya, whatever it is mentioned by the Acharyas and Gurus. So likewise, if we take those things from the Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita and Bhagavatam, then we would be able to give this nectar to everyone. I request you, Mataji, if you can take some kind of a session on one of the Tuesdays to explain, just bringing all things, like we do not have to think on the spot, but we can just put one session and you can pour all the nectar to all of us. Is that okay, Mataji, on one Tuesday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just find it remarkable. Yeah, I can try. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, and that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, today evening we have got Chaitanya Charitamrita. We do our Sangha by ourselves this evening. We haven't got any guest speakers. Okay, that is from the updates perspective. And we are devotees are doing this Damodarashtakam every day, morning and evening. Of course, in the evening with your family. And dear devotees, if you wanted to share any events or anything in news from your side, kindly share. And also one more thing is tomorrow is Ekadasi. Tomorrow is the Rama Ekadasi. Prepare for the austerities. This is the month of Kartika, and whatever the austerity we do, it will return in so many thousands of times. So tomorrow is Ekadasi. Okay, and dear devotees, if you have got any updates, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to the next part of our program, the pastimes within the Vaikunta.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, I have question about Damodar Ashtakam. It says that Satyavrata Muni, he wrote it in front of Narad Muni and other Rishi. So what was the occasion he wrote it? I always thought it was said by Nal Kuber and Manigriv when they were worshipping baby Krishna.
So here, Satyavrata Muni, he spoke, not written.
Okay.
The song was originally spoken by Satyavrata Muni in conversation with Narada Muni and Savanaka Rishi. This is mentioned in the Padma Purana. Padma Purana was written by Vyasadeva.
Okay.
So here, all these conversations, whatever the conversations are happening, all in the Puranas. All the Puranas are compiled by Vyasadeva, and he has given this literary form to all of us.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Does that answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, I was thinking, what was the occasion? Were they worshipping that time or just talking to each other?
This is conversation actually. Satyavati Muni in conversation with Narada Muni.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so we shall move to the Vaikuntha. So we have been discussing in the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter Canto 3, that is, and then chapter number 16. So we have seen the Vaikuntha, that is 15th chapter, description of Kingdom of Godhead. And now there, Kumaras, they were stopped by the Jaya and Vijaya, so they were cursing them. Lokalitu Vrachitam Antarabhav Drustya. Wherever there is a, this is the material word. Lokalitu Vrajitam Antarabhav Drustya. Papi yastrayat imi vipo astyayatra. This is the mode of passion, ignorance, and uh, goodness. These are always mixed in this material world. So they are cursing them like to go them for Jaya and Vijaya to go back to this material world. And then later on, Lord comes there, and then Kumaras are praying and glorifying the Lord. Now Lord is speaking to Kumaras in this 16th chapter. Here, all this story, the whatever is happening in the Vaikuntha, Brahma is speaking to demigods. That one, the last verse we have seen, Etavato Pashado Mahyam, Jayo Vijayevacha, Kadati Kurutyamam Yedho, Bahu Akratam, Atikramam, Kadati Kurutya. So this particular word is very, very important. Kadati Kurutya, by ignoring or by forgetting the Lord at that particular moment. Kadati Kurutyamam Yedvo, Bahu Akratam, Atikramam. They made a big mistake, big offense. And then Lord is speaking to Kumaras here. So my servants, they have made a mistake towards you. So, and later on, let us see what Lord is further speaking. Okay, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 16, verse number 3. यस्तु एतयोः दुतो दण्डो भवद्भिः माम् अनुरतैः स एव अनुमतु अस्माभिः मुनयो देवहेलनात् यस्तु एतयोः दुतो दण्डो Yestu, so whatever you have done, Yestu Yetayoho regarding both the Jaya and Vijaya. Yestu Yetayoho Druto Dhando. What is that? Druto Dhando. Drutaha has been given. What is that? Punishment has been given. O Kumaras, you have punished them to send them back to material world where the goodness, passion, and ignorance they prevail. Yestu etayoh duto dando bhavadbihi mam anurutaihi. And then he is saying bhavadbihi. So yourself, bhavadbihi, by you, mam anurutaihi, you are devoted to me. Mam anurutaihi, so you are my devotees. Saeva anumatu asmabihi, and whatever certainly you have given this punishment to them, it is it is eva anumato. Anumata is I am approving that curse, whatever the curse you have given, I am approving it. Saeva anumato asmabihi, by me. Munayo deva herana, oh great sages. So this is they have done this offense towards you. Deva heranat, um, against yourself. Because of this offense, I am approving this, whatever the curse you have given to Jaya and Vijaya, to send them to the material world where these three modes of material nature prevail. I am approving that one. Likewise, the Lord is saying. Okay, can I request anyone to read the translation, please? Only one line. Radha Sekha Mataji, would you like to read the translation?
Yeah, I can't see it, Prabhu. I can only see Visual Radha Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. O great sages, I approve of the punishment that you who are devoted to me have meted out to them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here the Lord is approving, I approve of the punishment. So whatever, so here, whenever devotees speak any words, here Kumaras they spoke. They are the Brahma Sampatya because they're always sticking on to the truthfulness and austerities and penances without any self desire self desires fulfillment. So such kind of people when they speak, those things will come in true. And Lord approves that kind of things, the statements of the devotees. Whenever Prabhupada says that you will become a pure devotee, yes, they will become because, and here, Nalakuvara and Manikriva, they are nothing to do with Krishna. They are not the devotees of Krishna, but because they have come across the pure devotee Narada Muni, and Narada Muni, he cursed them. But later on, he says that somewhere or other you would see Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, face to face. And then Krishna was thinking, so I am nothing to do with this Jaya, Nalakura and Manikriva. But here, somewhere or other, my devotee wanted me to come face to face with this Nalakura and Manikriva. So let me just do that one. So he is always Bhakta Vatsala. He follows his devotees' instructions. Sadhavo Hrudayam Mahyam, Sadhunam Hrudayam Tvaham. Madanin, uh, the Lord says that devotees always surrendered unto me and they give all their heart to me and they do not anything apart from me. Likewise, I am always in their heart. I do not know anyone except my devotees. This is the Bhakta Vatsala. He is always inclined towards the devotees. Bhakchatumam Ananya Sektya Praveshtum cha Parantapa. They will only enter into Krishna's pastimes. So that is here the Lord is approving the words of Kumaras. They have spoken. That's why when especially Brahmanas, they are always worshipping Krishna. Of course, not about the Brahmanas who are sustaining or living for their livelihood by taking kind of a mm, as a vritti, earning the livelihood. That is not one. But here, Brahmanas are who are always worshipping Krishna, accepted Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead and rendering service. Such kind of Brahmanas, we should be very respectful them in all times and circumstances. Even though he makes mistakes knowingly or unknowingly, we need to understand that we should not do anything harm by words, by mind, or by activity. Okay, that is the na brahmadandadaktasya na bhodabhaidasya cha narkashanu gurupnanti yam yonimasugataha. Such kind of, if Brahmanas curse, Diti Maharani says this particular verse, saying that if anyone are cursed by the Brahmanas, those people will not be respected even within his own community. Wherever if he takes birth in the cat's family, even mother cats, father cat also, they do not nourish the child. Similarly, a dog or bird, wherever they do not uh, nourish that child. Narkashanu yam gurhnanti yam yoni masugataha. They will always feel that hellish life. So that's why we need to be very careful with the brahmanas and devotees. Okay, that is that verse, and we shall move to the next verse and then see further reflections on it. Tadvaha prasadayamyadhya brahma daivam param hi me tadditi atmakrutam manni yat kupumbihi asatkrutaha tadvaha prasadayami adhya tadva. So therefore, usages prasadayami. I am seeking your forgiveness. So here Lord is asking for forgiveness, seeking your forgiveness. Tadvaha prasadayami adhya. Just now I am asking you forgiveness for the mistake that Jaya and Vijaya has done. Brahma Daivam Paramhime. And here the Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying, Brahma Daivam Paramhime. The Brahmanas are most beloved personalities. param, highest, he definitely, because me, and he's saying here, that's why Lord is saying to Brahmanas here, Brahma Daivam Parambhime, Tadditi Atmakrutam Manye. And further he says, Tadditi, whatever the offense, Taddhiti Atmakrutam Manye, whatever my attendants they have done, I am considering this one as my own offense. Taddhiti Atmakrutam Manye Yat Swapumbihi Asatkrutaha. This is Asatkrita, having been disrespected. And here Swapumbihi, by my own attendants. I consider this one as my offense. See that one. Taddhiti Atmakrutam Manye Yat Swapumbihi Asatkrutaham. The Lord takes the ownership of this one. Again, this one is the admitting the mistakes. Of course, in our day-to life, when we are working at any corporate offices or any organization, if one has committed any mistakes, openly admitting and taking the ownership of it and trying to resolve the issues. These are very important. Here, Krishna is again the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here is a model for all of us. Either directly or indirectly, his attendants have. If a team is working and if one or two people are working and then some mistake has done, manager take the responsibilities and he will go to the stakeholders of the business and explain that this is my mistake. I could not manage it and I apologize. Likewise, they will admit. Here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is showing as a model to all of us, admitting mistakes. When we openly admit these mistakes, then we know how to resolve it. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. We have to admit the mistakes. Then everything is transparent. We know the steps to be taken further. That's why he's saying Tadva prasadayami adhya brahma daivam parambhime taddeti atmakrutam manye yat swapam vibihi asatkrutaha. So can I request other devotee to take a turn to read the translation and purport, please?
Green.
Any volunteers to read?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, where is it?
Maybe your screen might be stuck up, Mataji.
Mm.
Yes, Mataji.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation. To me, the Brahma is the highest and most beloved personality. The disrespect shown by my attendants has actually been displayed by me because the doormen are my servitors. I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek your forgiveness for the incident that has arisen. Purport. The Lord is always in favor of the Brahmanas and the cows, and therefore it is said, Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Lord Krishna or Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also the worshipable deity of the Brahmanas. In the Vedic literature, in the Rig Mantra, hymns of the Rig Mantra, it is Rig Veda, it is stated that those who are actually Brahmanas always look to the lotus feet of Vishnu. Om Tad Vishnu Pranam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryah. Those who are qualified Brahmanas worship only the Vishnu form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means Krishna, Ram, and all Vishnu expansions. A so called Brahman who is born in the family of Brahmanas but perform activities aimed against the Vaishnavas cannot be accepted as a Brahman because Brahman means Vaishnav and Vaishnav means Brahman. One, one who has become a devotee of the Lord is also Brahman. The formula is Brahma Jananti Brahmanaha. Brahma Janatiti Janaititi Brahmana. A Brahmana is one who has understood Brahman, and Vaishnav is one who has understood the personality of Godhead. Brahman realization is the beginning of realization of the personality of Godhead. One who understands the personality of Godhead also know the impersonal feature of the Supreme, which is Brahman. Therefore, one who becomes a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. It should be noted that the glories of Brahmana described in this chapter by Lord himself refer to his devotee Brahmana or the Vaishnava. It should never be misunderstood that so called Brahmanas who are born in Brahman families but have no Brahminical qualification are referred to in this connection. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, very important thing, some curious thing. Om Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam Sada Pasyanti Surayah. All the demigods Sada Pasyanti Surayah. Surayah is the devotees of the Lord, the demigods, or anyone who are the devotees of Vishnu. Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. And they always wanted to take the, see, always look to the lotus feet of the Vishnu. Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. So one of other kind of on the other day, I was watching one of the statement of different religious person. He was mentioning this particular statement, and he is applying onto his religious, and then he is giving a entirely different translations. So that's why Shambhala is means the Lord is going to take birth in the Shambhala, that is Makkah, and Vishnu means this is Allah. So he is taking, but what is here? They are also referring to the Vedas for their own support. They're also referring to this Rigveda mantra. But here Vishnu is the one who is having the Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in his hands, and who is inclined to his devotees, who is pure, who accepts Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yomi Bhaktya Prayetyati. That is Vishnu. And his devotees are always renouncing this material world, Dukkalayam Ashashvatam, and taking the worship of Vishnu. Is it being done? They have to recognize. They take very little bit of it and change the entire meaning of it. That is not authorized, not approved by any acharyas who are tattvavids. So here Prabhupada is explaining about the Supreme Personality of God. He is the Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Are they Hitaya to the Go and Brahmanas? Are they treating the cows as a friendly? No, they are not. They are killing the cows. How can take this Rigveda mantra and apply to their religious principles? It is condemned, such kind of things. The Lord is always in favor of the Brahmanas and the cows, and therefore it is said, Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Lord Krishna or Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also the worshipable deity of the Brahmanas. So Brahmanas are always worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, they will be rejected. So that is Sa Sarvasya, there is mentioned one verse, there will be Sa Sarvasmat Bhahishkaryaha Srautasmadha Vidanataha. Yo Vekti Bhautikam Deham Krishnasya Paramatmanaha Sa Sarvasmat Bhahishkaryaha Srautasmadha Vidanaha. If a Brahmana is worshipping, he thinking Krishna's body as a material, and such kind of person needs to be rejected from Shrauta Smarta Vidanataha, from all kinds of activities. Worshipping in the temples or such kind of Brahmanas are to be rejected. If one comes to see such kind of Brahmanas or who are posing themselves as Brahmanas, Sachayalam Snanamachare, one has to take bath with his own clothes. Tasyapi avalokanam. So if one comes to see such kind of Brahmanas who are posing themselves like that, and one has to take bath, this is the once again Vedic injunctions. So Krishna is not like our material bodies. So in the Vedic literature, in the Rug mantras, the hymn Rig Veda is stated that those who are actually Brahmanas are always look to the lotus feet of Vishnu. Tad Vishnu ho paramam padam Sada pasyanti surayah. This is Rigveda mantra. These are Vedas are also many people they wanted to see Vedas as the authority. There is no further speculation on it. Those who are qualified Brahmanas worship only the Vishnu form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means Krishna, Rama, and all Vishnu expansions. And Brahmana has got different qualities. Krishna mentioned in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, or 18th chapter. So qualities of a Brahmana, what is his activity? Shama, Dhamma, Tapa, austerities, and Ajjavam, and Swadhyayanam, Vedic studies, and cleanliness. There are around 7 qualities of Brahmana. And also Vaishnavas, he has got all the qualities of the divine. Sarvaihi gunaihi tatra samasate suraha. And then, so these are the qualities of a Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And here, Brahma who is born in the family of Brahmana but performs activities aimed against the Vaishnavas cannot be accepted as Brahmana. See, this is again, if any act, for example, Durvasa Muni acted against the Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj is Vaishnava. Then do we call that Durvasa Muni Brahmana at that particular time? So here what we understand, Brahmana who is born in the family of Brahmana but performs activities aimed against the Vaishnavas cannot be accepted as Brahmana, because Brahmana means Vaishnava and Vaishnava means Brahmana. So this is Vaishnava is on top of one who has become a devotee of the Lord. He is also a Brahmana. The formula is Brahma Janati iti Brahmanaha. Who understands the Brahma, he is Brahmana. Brahma Janati iti Brahmanaha. A Brahmana is one who has understood Brahman, and a Vaishnava is one who has understood the personality of Godhead, and Brahman realization is the beginning of realization of the personality of Godhead. And who understands personality of Godhead, also known as the impersonal feature of the Supreme, which is Brahman. Therefore, one who becomes a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. If I have got £1,000,000, I do not have to say that I have got 10 pounds or 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds like that. I am already qualified. I have got all these things. I have got millions of pounds or trillions of pounds. Therefore, one who becomes a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. He has surpassed all the Vedic literatures, all the Puranas and everything he has performed. Atoba. So there, Yennamanicha Gruhnati Loko. Let me just. Aho bata swapacho ato ghariyan yajjihvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuhu sasnurarya brahmanuchu nama grunanti ete. Aho bata swapacho ato ghariyan yajjihvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuhu sasnurarya brahmanuchu nama grunanti ete. There, Devoti Mata glorifies Kapil Bhagavan. Whoever is uttering the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead on his tongue, Aho Bata Swapacho Ato Gariyan, even though he is a Chandala, Swapacho Ato Gariyan, Yajjihvagre Vattate Namatubhyam. And such kind of person, Tepus Tapaste Juhuhu Sasnurarya, Brahmanuchurnama Gurnantiyete. He has performed all austerities, everything in his past lives, entirely purified, because he took the name of the Lord. Tepuhu Tapaste Juhuhu Sasnurarya, and he went through all kinds of austerities, purities, he surpassed everything. This is the beauty of the devotee. He has surpassed everything, all process of Brahman, first initiation, second initiation, everything. If he has surrendered himself to Krishna 100%, he has surpassed everything. So here, therefore, one who becomes Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. It should be noted that the glories of Brahmana described in this chapter by the Lord himself refer to his devotee Brahmana or Vaishnava. And we should not misunderstood that the so-called Brahmana who are born in the Brahmana families but have no Brahmanic qualifications are referred to in this connection. They are nothing to do with. This is kind of different people who are taking the Brahmana vritti as a job, not the surrender to Krishna, to please Krishna. Okay, so this is what Prabhupada is explaining here. I request dear devotees to share your reflections, any questions or additions, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I ask a question, please, or two?
Yes, Mataji.
I hope it's quick. If it's not, you can just pass it. So, like, our shortcomings, our defects, how do we work on them? And can you please also say something about the surrendering process? Because obviously we hear so much about that, but how do we know that we are surrendering all the time? Like, what is the check for that? How do we know we're doing it correctly? How do we know it's not our mind or other influences? It's just the surrender is pure to Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. That is very simple thing. We need to chant Hare Krishna mantra loudly, and then by that, when we are doing loudly after the chanting for 2 hours, we invest all our energy, time in the Maha Mantra. After that, we would have less energy to spend on the materialistic things, interested material things, like which are called sense gratificatory things. And we do not get that kind of taste when we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra loudly and then giving focus on it. That is the only austerity and purity. And automatically, the taste develops. When we get that taste, automatically we would lose the taste. Anasakta Vishyan. यदार्मुपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धे कृष्णसम्बन्धे युक्तवैराग्यमुच्यते. Only the Krishna. So when we are also talking and asking questions or speaking something, and Krishna only based, backing everything from the scriptural injunctions that are mixed, how they are meaningful to the materialistic activities. Then everything comes perfect.
So
We do not
that's
have
surrender,
any.
or that's how to deal with our defect.
Yes, so without a defect, though every activity, Krishna says that every activity we perform, it may contain somewhere or in some dimension some kind of faults in it. But still, one should not renounce such kind of activities. He has to carry out those things. And when we are doing it, do to please Krishna only. Of course, it knows everyone knows about it, but how do I do it? When we are doing, that's why we have got the deity at home and bring flowers and offer it to the Lord. And first of all, waking up early morning is a very, very important thing. And when we have woken up, we have put some austerity on that one. And then why we are doing here? Again, chanting here, japa, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on time, whether I am doing it on time or not. That is the important thing. Of course, sometimes few minutes plus or minus, that is fine, but it should not be the usual thing. It should not be the every day I come at just only late and then come and then do whenever I want. Whenever I want, I will do it means whenever it is possible, whenever it is convenient and comfortable, I do it means there is no austerity there. There is no tapasya because that is going to the bodily convenience. That is coming back to the it doesn't matter whatever happens, I must wake up and do it the on particular time. Um, Usually, then that is kind of austerity. Siddhyo siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate, irrespective of good or bad, and then giving our full time and effort. This is what we have to do. But there are some circumstances like some family needs us, then we have to focus on that particular, that they are exceptional ones. But it cannot be a usual day-to-day activity because of the bodily convenience or something like that. Then whatever, then my mind is always thinking of you. During the work also, I'm thinking of Krishna. During whenever I'm chanting, remembering the Krishna's pastimes, how beautiful he has done. All remembering all those and remembering those verses when we are practicing Jaya Purusharchanam, when we are studying the Vedic scriptures, all those the verses they will give our brain but a exercise. And when we are remembering those verses, automatically remember the past times. They are so beautiful. It is beyond the explanation. Ekantalabham. Ekantalabham means when we are alone, we remember the Krishna's pastimes through these verses. When we are remembering verse means some pastimes, how beautiful it is. And then when as soon as we see some picture or some letters or Prabhupada's letters, or immediately we remember some of the pastimes of Krishna. That is Swadhyaya Purusharchanam. When we are doing like that, and at the same time, not too much engaged in the materialistic entertainments like watching movies, videos, or social media unnecessarily, not part of the duty. So either we watch or not, they will keep going on automatically. Every day is changing. But our knowledge is not changed, it is eternal knowledge. This is what we need to hold. So then, because we have given mind is always thinking of Krishna, activities are all surrounded to Krishna, speaking only about Krishna, backing with the scriptural injunctions. I can speak thousands of things, but if I do not put one kind of one sloka and explain and relate to that material thing, all that thing will become kind of a prasangam, ajaram pasham. It will take you down. It will lose the conversation's potency. First of all, when we are speaking about Krishna, put the statement, give the reasons, give the examples, and explain in such a way that all the explanation coming needed and support to the statement, for the first statement, and show the examples, evidences from the scriptures, that is Nigamana. These are the 5 topics are to be included when we speak any particular any particular statement. For example, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna has done Rasa dance with the gopis. For every particular statement, we need to put these 5 subjects and explain so that audience will take it. And when we are going in a structured way, then our mind, intelligence, and our speaking, our activities, everything will come to one particular point. Concentrating only Krishna. That is, Krishna is the only objective. Then mind and small effects, everything will be rectified. But our mood is like differently. I wanted to somewhere show myself like I'm speaking, I'm very well versed, or I can speak nicely, I can organize properly, I can teach very nicely. Then if I just put everything, I do it, then though I am doing it, it will lose the power, spiritual power. But when I'm trying to please Krishna and Guru, then Krishna will be the like here he is taking the that whatever the offense this Jaya and Vijaya done, he has taken that kind of tadva prasadami adhya brahma daivam param himi taditi atmakrutam manye. So he is admitting that. Likewise, we need to admit that I am the servant of Krishna. It is not me speaking. It is Krishna is making me to speak. We have to live that one. We can say, Trunadapi Sunicena, Taroropi Savishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadaharihi. Everyone knows that one. Everyone can speak that one. But living that one need to be practiced. If some immediate how it is practiced, Krishna arranges some activities. One person says that your dear devotee, kindly show off your videos and something like that, and immediately we may think that what kind of person he is asking. I'm just remembering one of things to explain so that there Lord is arranging in a circumstance that how tolerant we are, how patient we are. There are, when we are keep going on that one, there is further, so many tests will come. We need to pass all these tests. Otherwise, if we are going further, if I am not passed in one level, and then Krishna says, oh, this devotee is still not yet in this level, I need to give a smaller things, and then he will bring a small tests, which we can do it. Again, we need to progress further. And when we are going for passing bigger ones, there are many other bigger things. So there is a one particular point that is Paramahamsa stage. So everything keep aside, it's completely surrendered to Krishna, and then only Krishna, nothing else, no more material things at all.
What's the difference between an obstacle and a test?
Obstacle and a test. Obstacles.
What's a test in bhakti? What's an obstacle in bhakti?
So
How do we
here
know the difference?
we are not saying obstacle and tests are different. So we would face the circumstances kind of a, it is whatever the circumstance we see, it is kind of a test for us, how we consider that circumstance and act on that one. That act, whatever the activity or action we take place, we take, it must be aligning to the scriptural injunctions and Krishna and from the Puranas and Itihasas. It must be like that, tolerant and fulfilling. First is fulfilling the Krishna's statement, whether it is aligning or not. At the same time, it is fulfilling my personal need as well. Sometimes paradharmam, swadharmam, both needs to be fulfilled. When Krishna says to Arjuna that when to kill Ashwadhama, at that time Bhima says, Bhima supposed to kill him. Draupadi says, do not kill him. Dharma supports Draupadi. At the time, Krishna says, to please me and also please Bhima, please Draupadi, please Yudhishthira and Arjuna, you act in such a way. So Arjuna should act in such a way means he should have got all the knowledge. He must have heard all this knowledge from the spiritual master. By the time he has received the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So one who understands the Bhagavad Gita completely, so many people have read Bhagavad Gita, but studying Bhagavad Gita done by very few people only. What is this statement means to me? And there, Krishna mentions that a spiritually progressive person, whenever all the living entities are sleeping, he wakes up and perform all his spiritual practices. And when everyone wake up, he goes to sleep. So that he mentions in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So those are the things we need to take. Once we got knowledge, there is no scope for mental speculations, or our body automatically does according to the Krishna's injunctions and Guru's instructions. And when we have got complete faith, Ado Shraddha,
Is Bhagavad Gita going to be, obviously it's going to be different, like you said, everybody's going to interpret it according to their lens, but then obviously there's, like we have Srila Prabhupada's purport, we have Arjuna's action and Lord's teaching. So even every time we read the Bhagavad Gita, it's going to, even if we read the same verse, at any given time, it's going to, so say for example, like the first time I fully studied, like, well, I would say, in my own way, studied the Bhagavad Gita, I was mostly focused on the soul and that chapter because I just lost somebody in my family. And the second time I read it, I was more focused on karma. Then as I developed deeper, all I really wanted to do was focus on the bhakti. And then I had all these questions, and every time I read it, something different stood out for me. Is that whenever we read it, that's
Yeah.
what it's meant to do. Whichever place we are in at that time, that part is going to speak to us. Or is it that we should all understand it in just one way, like Arjuna?
Yes,
Or
Madhu. So here, Krishna's statements in the Bhagavad Gita, they're eternal, always standard. But I may read it according to my circumstances. Maybe I might be distressed or some kind of problems. I wanted to know the solution. When I approach that verse, it gives one reflections in my heart. It gives my personal circumstances. Another person may be in another circumstances. He reads the same verse, different reflections. If one particular verse to explain, Prabhupada explains according to the will of the Krishna, what Krishna wanted to mention. From the script, if you see this purport, every sentence, it is coming from different part of the Vedas, Puranas, everything. It is not the personal statements coming in here. That's why it is divine. When I say interpreting my personal way to one particular verse, then what happens? Because I am in the family, if my wife does this one, my children doesn't listen to me, and so I take this verse and quote that one, that becomes materialistic because the personal circumstances. No, that is different reflection. But reflection must be completely what Krishna wanted to say. What is in the Vedas, what is in the Puranas, what are the examples in the Idihasas. Taking that one, okay, this have been done like this. Now, what it means to me, that needs to be reflected. But we should not put our personal circumstances when trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Then it may go different reflections. There are 100 people have 100 circumstances, 100 reflections. So
so
this,
say for example the thing about the soul, if we were just talking about the soul, we would just say it as Krishna says it. So, the soul is indestructible, it's eternal, it can't be, so that's the statement. And then we would find other statements to back that. So we might then go to say Jada Bharat or Bharat Maharaj, or where his soul kind of moved through the journey of bodily transmigration. That would be that Krishna's statement is backed by another shastric injunction. Would that be right? As opposed to, okay, the soul is, and when I was going through this journey, this is how Krishna supported me to understand that actually I don't need to be in grief. I can just understand that there is a bodily transmigration that goes on.
yes.
So
So
would be the correct.
again, this Puranas, when we are reading it, sometimes we may be in the material attachments. When we hear these Puranas are reading by ourselves, we think based on our platform where we are living. That's why when we have to hear from the Bhagavatas, they will explain Varnayanti Mahanatmaha Sutenadhyana Anjasa. They will explain in such a way that everything is meaningful in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That we have to take it. But if I just keeping Krishna aside, though Jadabharat and doing everything spiritual, soul is eternal and he has performed so many things and finally he attained, but there is no mention of Krishna or that sentence.
But he was a devotee of Krishna.
Yes, he is a devotee, but some people they will say about the transmigration of the soul, everything explains, but the main ingredients would be missing. Krishna would be missing there. Everything is explained, story is right, everything is perfect. But there is no main ingredient, bhakti and Krishna. So if we
Yes,
see
yeah.
some of the movies, they portray that from especially some kind of children cartoon movies, they will say something like that, but there is no establishing the Krishna's position as supreme personality of Godhead. Devotional service to Krishna is the only process. If that is not established, then everything will be no value.
This is enough. Going back to Bhagavad Gita, and this is, you're going to probably say discuss this on, but this weakness of mind that Arjuna has, that sometimes we face, and obviously Srila Prabhupada was able to cross that. Arjuna was able to cross that weakness of mind. Yeah. and they had like full faith after Krishna. And we often hear this. Sometimes when deep inside us we are feeling weakness, and we have to make that jump, and we have to find that courage and that determination.
Again here, admitting the disease. What is the disease here is I am infected with the material things. I have got material disease. That is the disease.
It isn't
Treating the
even
disease.
material. It could just be, okay, even if you just think about it in the most basic sense, like there's a big gap and you have to cross over it, and you're just thinking, okay, how am I going to cross over this big gap? And then you're just like, just imagine it, you're short or something, I don't know, you just physically can't do it or whatever. What is that mindset that just pushes somebody to just say, no, I can do it, and then for another person it's, no, I can't?
The mind, it is yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam vartate kamasambhavaha. And yad vidhi anuruddhakyam kushikadam adishwaram. So Aniruddha is the Lord of the mind. And from the mind, yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam vartate kamasambhavaha. When we have got such kind of desires, I wanted to do this, I like this, I don't want to do this, I don't like that. Such kind of things born out of the mind. So mind, it has come from the mode of goodness. It has this material nature of mind, it has born out of the mode of goodness. So, and it has got the thinking, feeling, and such kind of things are coming from the mind. And mind is the place for everything. And how to control when yato nischalati manas chanchalam. The Krishna mentions, Arjuna says that one. Arjuna was asking, my mind is very difficult to control. But Krishna says, but wherever your mind goes, you bring it back to your control, and then you practice. Engage the mind in the devotional service. For example, Krishna's deities are to be worshipped in the high standard. I need to do everything perfect. Am I dressing Krishna very nicely? Am I offering flowers? Am I preparing nice dishes, everything nicely? That we need to reflect every day. If I am not reflecting, always thinking of that one. How do I do that? But even though whatever we are trying to do, somewhere or other we may be thinking less because I haven't done enough. I need to do better tomorrow. That is the Krishna's nature. Mind is always thinking of Krishna there. But because when the Krishna is centered, if otherwise these mind reflections every moment, so many thoughts are coming into the mind. Why? Because of previously we have engaged these senses in the materialistic activities, they will be reflecting in the later time. Though we do not want to think of them, they will come back again disturbing us. Param drishtva divattate, vishya vinivattante, niraharasya dehinaha. Param drishtva nivattate. So Krishna says, once we engage our senses in the materialistic things, those will later on, they will come and disturb us. That taste still remains.
The test still remains because we haven't
That's,
crossed it.
yes, that's why these senses, we should not engage them in the materialistic activities, always in the Savai Manah Krishna Pada Aravindayoho, Vacham Svaikutta Gunadovanani. This is, even though it may not be possible, forcibly at least engage in the, keep ourselves in the, among the devotees. Try to hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Puranas, even though we don't like initially, forcibly at least we need to make ourselves, this is the good, this is the good. We train the mind again and again, again and again, then it will come into taste. So come to that point there where we like only Bhagavatam and Bhagavad, nothing else. If you are taking the names, initially it may be bitter, but if you are taking it for continuously for 6 weeks, later on we feel that this is the best thing for me ever. It is the best medicine. I am not getting any diseases at all. Even the snake bites me, my body doesn't get any poison. That is the state of the neem leaves. Likewise, when we are taking Bhagavatam, and one cannot be contaminated by the materialistic things. Wherever he goes, he purifies that place because he keeps only the Lord in the heart. He doesn't know anything except the Lord. And Lord means he is completely pure. Devotee means he makes that wherever he is there, he makes that place as the pilgrimage. Bhavidvida Bhagavataha Tiddhavotaha Swayam Vibho Tiddhe Kuranti Tiddhani Swa Antastena Gadavrita. So that is the verdict of the scriptures. We need to act in such a way, engage the senses in only Krishna's service, though we do not like it, though it is very difficult, but we have to do that one forcibly. Krishna mentions that initially it may be bitter, later on it will become nectar. That is in the mode of goodness. But initially it is pleasing to the senses, but later on it gives the pain. That is mode of passion. From the beginning to end, it is always miserable condition. Such kind of activities and thoughts, everything that is ayuktaha praktaha stabdaha sheto naishkriti kolasaha vishadi dirgha sutri cha katta tamasa uchyate ayuktaha prakrutaha stabdaha sheto naishkriti kolasaha. Insulting, one is very expert in insulting others. Ayuktaha, he does not engage. Prakrutaha, he is materialistic. Stabdaha, he does not respond very quickly, even though there is an action. So these are Vishadi Dirghasutricha, always lamenting for something. Vishadi Dirghasutricha, Karta Tamasa Uchete, that kind of person, Karta Tamasa, in the mode of ignorance, Uchete, he is said to be like that. So again, one is in the mode of goodness, who is always, they were, he is worshipping all the demigods, engaging in the devotional service, those activities, and that is austerity of the body, austerity of the speech, mind, and us. Again, whenever it takes the three material modes of nature, it applies in everything: a person, a speech, a mind, and activities, whatever the things we take, the food, and mind, intelligence, they're all categorized into three of them: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Always I need to think whether my activity, my devotional service is in the mode of goodness or not. Even devotional, bhakti vido bahuvido, margehi bhamini bhavyate. Pumsam swabha marghena, that is Purushas, that is again Pumsam swabhava Uchyate. So Kapil Bhagwan explains that three modes of devotional service as well. Devotional service performed Vishyan Abhisandhaya, then it is the mode of passion. Karma Nirhar Muddhisya, that is mode of goodness. And Sambrambi Bhinna Drugbhavam, mode of ignorance. Devotional service also three modes. Everything, whatever we do it, either food or speaking, mind, intelligence, activity, or the person, three kinds. Always we need to be, it is when we are thinking in so many minute ways, the micro level, scrutinizingly. But the devotional service, that's why Krishna says it is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Raja. Just leave everything and only surrender yourself unto me. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. It's been bit time. And I request also other devotees to contribute to this conversation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Um, so my question is, Prabhu, like it says, Krishna is very merciful for Brahmanas, like Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. So is it for all Brahmins, Brahman Varana Ashram I'm talking about, or actually, or those who are following rule and regulation? And one more question is about Vaishnava, because it say a Brahmana is who has understood Brahman, and a Vaishnava is who has understood the personality of Godhead. It means Vaishnava can come from any category of the varnashram, isn't it? And Vaishnav is he has higher position than Brahman because he's following all rule and regulation, and he has worked hard to achieve that position. I wanted to understand it, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. So this is षट्कर्म निपुनो मंत्र तंत्र विशारदः अवैष्णवो गुरुर्न स्यात् स्वपचो वैष्णवो गुरुः. So a Brahmana, Shatkarma Nipuno, Mantra Tantra Visharada, he knows everything, all the mantras, tantras, but he is not Vaishnava. He cannot become a guru. I'm just stressing this point. And Swapacho, Vaishnava Guruhu. Swapacho is the a Chandala who is the Vaishnava. He is always worshipping Krishna. He can become a guru. He can become a guru. So here, a Brahmana who understands the spiritual relation of Brahman. This is a impersonal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the effulgence of the Lord. He knows this is explained in the Vedas. Vedas bring only up to that point. This is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This is Traigunya Vishya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. But Krishna consciousness is beyond that. This is Krishna says to Arjuna, do not attract towards the beautiful flowery language of the Vedas. Just Nistre Gunyo Bhavarjuna, you surpass that. In the Vedas, if you do this one, you will get good results. If you do bad activity, you will get bad karma. There is punya karmas and pap karmas. Brahmanas knows all these things. They're all they know Shat Karmani Puno Mantra Tantra Visharadaha. If even though he studied all these things, if he did not understand Krishna and he is not becoming a Vaishnava, then he cannot become a guru. And here Swapacho is the Chandala. He is just not going through all the Vedic knowledge, but still he understands that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead who has given the Vedas, who is glorified in all the Puranas and everywhere. So I do not have to go through all these things. I simply worship Krishna in my home. What patram pushpam palam toyam yomi bhaktya parayachati. Simply I worship Krishna and attach to Krishna, taking that instruction. Even the Swapacho, he become a Vaishnava, he can become a guru. He surpassed all this process of Brahmanical first initiation, second initiation. He is a pure Vaishnava. That is Ato Swapacho Ato Garyam Yajjihvagre Vattate Namatubhyam Te Pustapase Juhuho Sasnurarya Brahmanucho Nama Gurunanti Ete. He has surpassed everything. He performed all the penances in the past. That is the position of a Vaishnava. He is surpassing the Brahmana position. So he is already Brahmana. See, this is Prabhupada mentions. One who becomes Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. So all the devotees in Krishna consciousness who are progressing only to that path. So that means they have already performed penances, they have gone through the purificatory process. But for time being, it may appearing that he may be working in a hospital, one person may be working in a school, one person may be working in a corporate office. One is just like just a small kinds of a stage show. But actually, he is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yajjihvagre vartate nam tubhyam. So he has surpassed all this purificatory process. In due course of time, he'll go back to Godhead.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
In
So Prabhu, so all so-called Brahmins, they should not take opportunity that they will be protected by Krishna, not taking liberty, and not doing anything which they are supposed to do. Brahman one I'm talking about, Prabhu.
And here Prabhupada mentions Brahmanas two categories. One Brahmana who is surrendered himself to the service of the Lord, the pure Brahmana, devotee Brahmana. So here these last two sentences. The first sentence here in this one, it should be noted that the glories of Brahmana described in this chapter by the Lord himself refer to the devotee Brahmana or the Vaishnava. It should never be misunderstood that the so-called Brahmanas who are born in the Brahmana families but have no Brahmanical qualifications are referred to in this connection. So in this chapter, the Lord is going to glorify the Brahmanas like anything that we are going to see here. That is the devotee Brahmana, like the Kumaras. They are glorifying Krishna in the Vaikuntha planet. They have heard from their father, Pitranuvarnitaraha Bhavena, by taking instructions from their father Brahma and coming to visit Vaikuntha to see the Lord and glorify the Lord. They are the devotees of the Lord. Though previously impersonal Brahmans, now they become the pure devotees. They surpassed that impersonal. But here, who are not surpassing that impersonal, are first of all, who are not practicing any Brahmanical processes, they who do not have Brahmanical qualifications, they are not mentioned here in this for this chapter. They are not considered the Brahmanas.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, understood.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other reflections? Sanchita Mataji, Gauringi Mataji, Asha Mataji, Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just a nice reflection. I thought, like, when suppose, like, our Lord, he's so sweet, like, if you just try to relate it to like something material, suppose a father takes a child to the park and he has unknowingly hit some other child and he's hurt, and then the child is small and he's not able to apologize properly, so the father, he would speak to his parents and then apologize that I'm sorry on behalf of my son. Similarly, that our Lord, though Jaya and Vijaya, they are his personal servitors, like direct servants to the Lord, and they are dear to him. But still, how when these four Kumaras, they are being insulted by Jaya and Vijaya, Lord personally, who is like the supreme personality of God, it just like he's so much Vakta Vatsala, like he is apologizing, admitting and ownership that yeah, they have done wrong and you're right, and whatever you are saying, even though they're cursed, Lord had the ability to just nullify them, but he still accepting that and letting his own personal servitors to get through. Of course, there was an option that you want 7 lives of a devotee or 3 lives as demons, so they accepted that. But and here we see this universal form of Lord where he's so supreme, and here we see a Lord who is so humble, so he's like achinta bheda pheda tatta, like it's impossible to conceive him unless we have surrender and love for him to understand that he is just our own supreme father. Yes, Prabhu, that's my realization. Hare Krishna. And this purport is very nice and very important, and you explained it very nicely, uh, especially in terms of Brahman clarifying this. So especially how the other religious people, they misuse our Vedas, so it was very nice to know that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, and also when other religious people are using it, misusing it, but still they are referring to the highly, they're giving the authority to the Vedas. That is very good point to be mentioned. So everyone's focus should be the Vedas. I mean, in terms of the religious principles, that they are authentic throughout the world. But how they're interpreting, that's personal to person.
Yes, absolutely. That's very important that they also understand that Vedas are the supreme, like there's nothing in scriptures beyond that, because their religion might have come only 1500 years ago, but ours, they have like so many millions of years ago. As Shrutis, Vedas were always there. It's only like Srila Vyasadeva has compiled them for the Kali Yuga people so that it's in the written format. But yeah, they're appreciating. And another nice thing I read, like in Prabhupada, I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter, I think 40, the shloks between, I think, 365 onwards to 384. where Prabhupada in one of the lectures is mentioning that, as avatars, the Shaktavis avatars, who are empowered by the Lord. So here he's glorifying that Jesus Christ or Hazrat Muhammad, they have gone through so much to preach about the Lord. So Prabhupada here is not discriminating. He's saying they're also glorifying the Supreme Lord. Although they are not like God themselves, as their religious people might think that there is Allah or Jesus, their God, but Prabhupada has glorified that they are also avatars of the Lord because they have glorified the Lord. So that's very nice, like of Prabhupada to do that, and in turn they do not do the same, even though they're taking it from the Vedas, but for their, because they don't have complete knowledge, they're misusing it and making different interpretation. Though, yeah, of course, it's good point that they're giving reference from Vedas, which is good, but yeah. That's also a point, like how Prabhupada glorifies even their spiritual preachers, but they do not do the same for our one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, even Hindus also we see those things. They do not hear, they do speak whatever they think. And Hindus, Muslims, Christians, but Krishna consciousness as it is very rare to find anywhere in this universe. Only pure devotee of the Lord can give. All the religious principles, everything are established only to awaken the love of Godhead. Are they doing it or not? And just doing means going to the atonement and then trying to free themselves from the sinful activities. Again coming home, again still engage the same activities again and again. So this is the nature of it. What is the answer for that? Prabhupada asked his disciples. You are going and trying to purify himself, to go to the church, go to the temple to purify yourself from all sinful activities. Why you commit again mistakes? What is your answer? Same process. Again eating meat, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. Why you are engaging? This is the disease. Though today, if we get fever, we may take one kind of tablet and then it will go away. Again, we do not find the root cause for that disease.
Yes, yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry, one more question. Like, some people they say that they do puja in morning and evening, so they are also bhakt. They also do bhakti. So, how Krishna consciousness and this bhakti, because they also consider them as pure bhaktas. So, w- w- how to distinguish between, like, I understand Krishna consciousness, but they don't, they think they are also same like Krishna consciousness, so they are not different. uh, they're doing the same thing as we doing. So how to differentiate
By
them
the
from, yeah,
not
because they say they do regular, like they have timings like morning 6 a.m 6 p.m. They do aarti and everything. It's a routine, they never miss it, and they consider them similar to Krishna consciousness Vaishnavas.
yes, that is a good question, Mataji. Once again, tattva. So do they have got that tattva? That is the important thing. But of course, they are doing all the studies and penances. Yes, there are few pure devotees of the Lord. They have got a different process, different sampradayas, Shri Sampradaya, Nimbarkacharya, that is Kumar Sampradaya, and also Rudra Sampradaya. Some of likewise different they follow different processes. But when they're doing, they must be equipped with the full knowledge received from the Krishna and from the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the knowledge. Do they have got that knowledge? Then there is no difference between us and themselves. And if they're thinking just only for the sake of the religious steps, okay, this is done, but and also I worship Krishna, I worship Lord Shankara, I worship Brahma, and all the demigods. Prabhupada says, this is my market. You can go whatever the god you want, and you can do puja there. It's a market. Scripture injunctions is not saying Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam saranam vraja, only worship me. Otherwise, everyone are kamaisthaisar prasajnanaha prapadhyanti anya devataha Tam tam nimamastaya prakrutya nita swayam. Some of the devotees mentioning that all demigods can be incorporated in Krishna consciousness, which is possible, but establishing their positions. Yes, it is possible, but why it is not done? Because there are so many neophytes coming to the temple and with the impurified knowledge. And what happens? They go and surrender to, offering puja, spend all of, if they get 1 hour time, spend 30 minutes at Ganesha, 20 minutes at Lord Shiva, and 10 minutes at Lakshmi Devi, 1 minute at Krishna. They don't even come to Krishna. And all of their energy is also being spent there. Of course, they can be incorporated, but and where the time and energy is being spent, is it for Krishna or not? For that purpose, Prabhupada established this Krishna consciousness movement, keeping only Krishna as a center point, only one object of attraction, center point. That is, the purity needs to be there. And whoever is coming, either neophytes or anyone, all of their time, energy, everything only for the purpose of Krishna. 100%. Why I have, when there are 10 questions, each question is of 100 marks, and some questions are 50 marks questions, 60 marks questions, 10 marks questions. I have got only 1 minute. I would attempt only 100 marks question directly. Why I would attempt a 10 marks question, 20 marks question like that to pass the test? It's a kind of, once again, reflection what we need to do. Some people, they think that's why we have to have only Krishna in the temple. What Prabhupada has given, sampradaya, that we need to take it. Unless I have got so much of austerity and penances, I cannot establish any sampradaya. So here, there are pure devotees of the Lord in the people who are following, waking up early morning, doing puja to different, through different process and worshipping Krishna. There are pure devotees, but do they have got the knowledge? And are they hearing? Did they take the knowledge from the sampradaya? Evam parampara praptum imam rajasho viduhu. Did they take that knowledge from the sampradaya? Sampradaya vihinante te mantram nishpalam mataha. Mantram nishpalam mataha. Prabhupada mentions that if we, without that sampradaya taking the mantra and chanting, and the mantra does not have any power in it. Of course, mantra have got power, but it needs to be received from the sampradaya. Shri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. This is authenticated process, method, spiritual method. Do anyone has got such kind of thing? If Rudra Sampradaya, Lakshmi Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and Kumar Sampradaya, if they are taking, they are only empowered for Sampradayas. If anyone is going out of these Sampradayas, then there is not much progress. It may be hard struggle. After so much of endeavor, they have to come back to one of these four streams. We need to check that one.
Prabhu, can I also add something to Mataji's?
Mataji.
Yeah. Yes, Himlata Mataji, like, this term called bhakti, it's in like layman's perspective, it's very misused term, it's like bhakti. When I asked this similar kind of question to one of the devotees, senior devotees in the temple, he said, bhakti can only be done to the Supreme Personality of Godhead when it's only for Krishna or his different avatars. But the rituals that normally which are done, they are like dharmic kriya or dharmic anushtan, dharmic sanskar, dharmic paddhati. They are like related to dharma. They're like, we have so many dharmas, like taking care of the family is one of a dharma, like at office we have different dharma. Similarly, showing puja and anushtan for what the rituals they're doing is doing to the demigods is like a ritual, dharmic kriya. But so they call Durga Bhakt, Kali Bhakt, Shiv Bhakt. It's wrong. I mean, that's wrong usage of the term bhakti. So bhakti can only be done to Krishna. So and of course, nowhere in the Puranas or any other books you will find bhakti being used for any other god and goddesses. But here, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself from 7th chapter till the 12th chapter, like in the between the middle section of, it's called the Bhakti Yoga. So there he tells explicitly what is bhakti. So bhakti can only be done to Krishna, and other things are ritualistic or dharmic sanskar or karyakram, whatever you say. So that is a misused term, and that's why from our childhood we have seen this. So they cannot be called bhaktas. But if you go and tell that, so they don't believe. But that's what's going on in the society. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a bit diluted term. That's what I learned. I had this doubt, and it's clarified now. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. But my another question is, like in North India, I mean, I never heard about Sampradaya before. After coming to Krishna consciousness only, I'm hearing about four Sampradaya and all. But I never heard, it was never discussed or taught or spoken in the families since my childhood. So same like me. I mean, I'm old enough to understand all these things. All these years in my life, I never heard about. So how people, I'm sure that other people also, they don't know from different part of North India, like Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and all, UP and Bihar, accept Krishna consciousness. Now I understand about it when I started to learn. So people are still ignorant it means in the society. They don't know which sampradaya they belong to. Like, I don't know. We are I mean, by birth I am Brahman. I'm not saying that I'm Vaishnava or Brahman. I'm not saying that. But my parents, they don't know which sampradaya they belong to. So how to find out? They only know their gotra and stuff, and that's all. But they call them the Brahman.
So yes, Mata. So generally, if we see some who has got the three lines, like in kind of Brahmanas, and we can differentiate. Found, um, Krishna's tilak is different, and Sri Sampradaya tilak is different, and who worship the Jnanis, Lord Shankaras, their different marks on the forehead. Likewise, different Brahmanas. So generally, some Sampradayas, they follow strictly in the Sri Ramanujacharya's Sri Sampradaya. He established that one because he is the pure devotee, empowered incarnation in the sense Sikyavesh Avatara. And they have given all these things through the Vedic injunctions only. But here, sometimes we say we have got the family deity. Someone said, though there are so many family deities they have got, but if you just reconcile all the family deities, they will root either to Vishnu or Lord Shiva, only these two, or Durga Devi. These are the three deities we reconcile to, all kinds of. If you just, they will speak millions of names. If you go and touch one village, they will say one name. And that Mata, the Ganga Mata, Mulastanamma, Yellamma, so many Ammas are there. They're all rooting to only the Durga Devi. They're all different expansions of Durga Devi.
Okay.
And then likewise, if we take Lord Shiva, he has got so many other names, but they give different names. And if we take Vishnu, he has got millions. We know that Vishnu Sahasranama, there are so many other names. Likewise, they're all reconciling to only Vishnu. They're the three principal deities who are worshipped indirectly.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, understood. Now I understand, because as you said that they are expansions and manifestations of Lord Vishnu, Krishna, Durga Devi, and Shiva also. Because my mother's family, they worship Shiva in different name. Their Kuldevta.
Yeah. Sometimes who are in the Varnashrama Dharma, when throughout the year there are festivals comes. Whenever there is Lakshmi Vrata, everyone do the Lakshmi Vrata. Whenever there is a Shivaratri comes, everyone worship Shiva. Whenever there is a Vaikuntha Ekadasi, everyone worship Vishnu. And also during those days, Ramanavami, or they will observe all these things because to worship those deities like that, to revive this, maintain this Varnashrama Dharma. But who are transcending to this all these things? Why we need all these things? Why we are processing? Who understands the objective of this Varnashrama Dharma? He knows everything. That Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, one should not have to dig a well for drinking water, dig a well for the farming, dig a well for one thing. We do not have to do that when we have got a big lake of water, so which would fulfill all the desires of a person. In, that Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita. So when who is a devotee of Krishna, become a pure devotee, he knows everything. What kind of position give to what demigod, how to worship them, how to treat them, how to approach them, and how to respect all the people in the Varnashrama Dharma. He does not see any difference. Though because he has got that knowledge, that's why he engages full time, 100% of time, energy, and wealth, everything, speaks words in the service of Krishna only. And also, there's some temples, if we observe in India, we have got Madhura, where Krishna is directly worshipped, and Jagannath Puri, Krishna Balarama is directly worshipped with the names. But some part of the India, we see Vishnu temples are there, like Padmanabha, and then Sri Rangam, and then Tirumala Kshetram. So the Vishnu forms are being, Narayana forms are being worshipped there. There the opulent forms are being glorified and worshipped there. But wherever it comes to Krishna, from the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam perspective, our focus must be only the single point of object, that is Krishna in a two-handed form. Like when Arjuna sees that Saumyam, Arjuna mentions to Krishna that Saumyam Janardhana, your body is so beautiful, O Krishna. That form needs to be targeted to worship and keep in our heart. That is eternal. He is the Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. All other forms are Vishnu forms. There are expansions of Krishna for different, for enjoyment purposes or moods and material affairs like Karnadaksai Vishnu, Garbhodaksai Vishnu, Kshirodaksai Vishnu. So these are different functions. And Narayana is opulent form, non-different from Krishna. He is the same Krishna. So, but our objective is two-handed form of Krishna. Tav Saumyam Dhanardhana. That beautiful form, very beautiful form. It is not possible for everyone. So Krishna's form has appeared in this Brahma's one day only once. Only once. Likewise, many other incarnations, there are, they will come and go. They're all Sattvanidet Bijaha, Sattvanidehe. They're transcend wealth of all the mode of goodness. We need to take those forms and worship Krishna and understand Krishna's pastimes. Okay, this is again, how do we know when we are in the devotees association, reading through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Puranas, and all must be reconciled to Krishna's lotus feet through devotional service. If that reconciling to Krishna without bhakti, it is kind of again deviation. Anyone can do that one in any processes, but this must be reconciled to Krishna only. When we hold Krishna, all the knowledge, ज्ञानं परमगुह्यं मे यद्विज्ञान समन्वितं स रहस्यं तदंगं च गृहाण गतितं मया यावानहं यथा भवो यद्रूप गुणकर्मकः. So all these things, everything by Mad Anugraha, by my mercy you will understand everything. You will understand Vishnu forms, Narayana forms, Durga form, Shankara form, Brahma form, everything, all knowledge will be revealed. Tadangam cha, Gruhana Gaditam Maya, O Brahma. I'm giving that my mercy to you. You will understand. So, Bhuyah tapas, Bhuyastvam tapatista vidhyam chaiva madashriyam. So again, engage yourself in the austerities and penances. You carry out your activities of creation. Think of only me. So that is Krishna's statements. If you hold Krishna, all the knowledge will be revealed in your hand. You know what to do. If you hold different demigods, some knowledge will be lacked. I have 100 marks, I have got full marks. If I got 70 marks or 84 marks, or maybe 10 marks, 20 marks, that means still you have got some lack of marks to fulfill 100 marks. When you come to that point, 100 out of 100, that is Bohunam Janmanam Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudarlabaha. They are called Mahatmas. They are Sudarlabaha, very rare.
Yeah,
Hare.
thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, some of us have like, well, I don't know, like I know for myself, like we have been given Krishna's bhakti from like, so I would say for me it was like Lord Shiva or probably Lord Shiva. I think, yeah, most definitely Lord Shiva, but also because we have previously worshipped the goddess as well, but she's taken away so much, and there's a lot of reverence we have for them because they've helped us in our journey, and there is a lot of affection. Like I still would feel that, like I still have a lot of affection for Lord Shiva or Durga
Yes,
Mata.
yeah, that is there because of different relationships throughout the different lives. The relationship is there, but we have got only one life. Our time is limited. I cannot speculate my time. I cannot engage my time in the wherever it is. Uh, it is lacking some kind of knowledge or some kind of purity. So that's why we have to take only Krishna, whole only Krishna. That is the single point of objective. It doesn't matter. Everyone have got different relationships with Lord Shiva or Durga. But again, is it 100%? Is it complete? One has to think.
It's because they've brought us to Krishna, like ultimately.
Yes,
So
that is, but yes, the Krishna brought them here to engage in the material uh, affairs. But when we know that Krishna is the only object, what is the necessity of all these things? We need to respect them whenever we come across these deities in our devotion service. That doesn't mean that we have to go specifically do offer worship and Shiva and Durga specifically. We do not have to do that. Here we are in the path. If in the Krishna service, if we come across those incidents, we respect and offer our obeisances and keep going on in devotional service without any deviation. I always spend time to achieve only 100 marks out of 100 marks. That is the only thing Krishna mentioned. Mad Bhaktaha. Mam Ekam Saranam Raja. Pure surrender, 100% surrender. Why do I speculate my one minute of time or 2 minutes of time or 1 day or 2 days, few more days? These are the things we need to reflect again. If a person with not so much of knowledge of some about Lord Shiva, he may be having so much of he can speak days and months and years. But still, though I can speak only 1 minute or I wouldn't have much knowledge, just I have only 1 minute, spend only that time or minute to only Krishna only. That is the knowledge. They have got different functions, but some are worshipping Vishnu, some are worshipping Shiva. Bhau bhut sarghole kosmin daiva asura eva cha Vishnu bhakta smruta daiva asura tad viparyeha. Only Vishnu bhakta are the devotees. Everyone else, they are not the devotees. They are all asuraha, demons. Tad viparyeha, who are not devotees of Vishnu. You do not have to mention out of 33 crores of demigods. Everyone are the asuraha tadviparyeyaha Vishnu bhakta smutadaiva statements. So why I have to take that path, speculate myself, put myself in that situation, contemplating whether I'm doing right or not.
It's
When
not that
Krishna,
we just have affection for, like, it's
that is called, yes, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. You wanted to go to that demigod finally?
obviously I know that even Lord Shiva tells us to go to Krishna. I understand that process, but it's when, like, like Lord Shiva has been there through so much of our pain, but I understand Krishna is also there through all our pain.
Yes, there are, yes,
Yeah.
Lord Shiva says that one, go to Krishna. When Krishna directly says, why don't we here take directly Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagat Pranitam? When father is saying directly to us, why we don't take, when my uncle says, then only I will go to my father. When father says not going directly to the father, why I wanted to hear indirectly? Of course, there are, it is a long path. Again, the Lord needs, he arranges because still there is some attachment to different demigods.
Like
When
for
that
me,
is kind of a disrespectable way. When Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, you just hear to me, take instructions from me, do as I said. Then I have to take it, then there is so much of respect. Then, if I do not follow when I hear Bhagavad Gita, then I go to Lord Shiva and then worship him. And he says some things, you go to Krishna. Then I will go one turn back and then go to Krishna. Is it respectable to the father? Then father thinks, nay, when I'm speaking directly to you, you are not listening, you are going to that person and then coming back to me. Is it respectable to the Lord or father? Just it is kind of a reflection we have to think. Do I need to take that much time? Do I have that much time in my life simply left over to live in this life?
this is my personal realization that Krishna would not accept me without me worshipping Lord Shiva, or like that's what I found, like especially being very young, like when I used to pray to Lord Krishna. Yeah, I know, I see what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. You're right. But if I ever like inside, like because there was always people that are Shiv Bhakts or Vishnu Bhakts or Krishna Bhakts. And obviously I would probably say I was inclined Krishna, but the fact is that then there was so many other, like people putting that differentiation in, saying that differentiation, and then when I created the differentiation within myself, then I think what I learned or my realization was that Krishna, obviously Lord Shiva is his thing as well, he's Krishna in how we understand it. And therefore there is love between them. There is lots of love between those two. Therefore, it's like, Vaishnav Bhakti is the highest, but Vishnu Bhakti is the highest, but even higher than that is the bhakti of the devotees. So if Lord Shiva is Krishna's Param Bhakt, if he's Param Vaishnava, therefore,
So, yes, Mataji. So there,
yeah,
there again two reflections. One is individual perspective, one is the Krishna's perspective. Because we are so foolish that Krishna arranges so many acharyas, gurus, and everyone, so that the kind of steps to come back to Krishna. That is Krishna's arrangement for the conditioned souls. But when it comes to me, when I get knowledge, when I know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of God, I can directly go there. If I do not know the knowledge, then I have to go through the step by step. And so here again, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Lord Shiva says to Parvati Devi. And Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samachanam And better than worshipping Vishnu is the worshipping of his devotees. Tadiyanam, Samarchanam. That is the best thing. So here, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho. Shambho is the greatest Vaishnava. And worshipping him is the best. Do I have got the mood that he is the devotee of Krishna? That matters again. How many people have got Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho? They do not know this thing. They forget about it and they go back and surrender themselves. Immediately we see that Daksha curse to Lord Shankara. That the who are approaching Lord Shiva without in connection with Krishna, they will fall down in the spiritual life. Daksha curse is there. And also associates of Lord Shankara. There are so many curses there during the Daksha Yajna process. Brahmanas are cursed by Nandi, and also he cursed who are servants of Daksha Prajapati or the Karmis. Do I need to put myself unnecessarily in that place? Again, contemplate on it. When we have got it clearly here, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no speculation about it. From Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, what is the necessity of going through so many other things? Prasajnanaha prapadyanti anya devataha.
Yes, Prabhu.
So here, from Krishna's point of view, he arranges when we have got deep desire to go back to Krishna, but when we do not know the steps, he arranges acharyas, gurus, sampradaya, everything in due course of time. When we understand this material world is dukkalaya mashashvatam, I need to go where I belong to. When we have got that kind of desire, aspire to go to Krishna, then he arranges. Then somewhere that some devotee come across this conditioned soul and use the knowledge about Krishna and Guru Parampara and ISKCON, they'll slowly come in contact with Krishna and then they will turn themselves into pure devotees in due course of time. Okay, so this is very beautiful discussions. Thank you so much, Mataji, for asking this sharing. And so I request you to speak on one of the Tuesdays, all these reflections, taking from the scriptural injunctions, quoting and collecting all the verses required to support whatever we speak. It needs to be backed by the quote and the Puranas and the Idihasas. So this one needs to be embedded in those few minutes of conversation when we are speaking. So we'll be waiting to hear you, Mataji, sooner. I'll communicate with you on that one, that day. Thank you so much. Okay, dear devotees, we are at 9 o'clock, and if you have got anything to ask or anything to share, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Gauringi Mataji, and any questions or you wanted to share anything? Any instructions, Mataji? You are a senior devotee, and this is when the devotee has got all the knowledge. What they do? Yes, I do not have to speak. If I speak something, I do not know. If I don't speak something, I don't know. I always chant myself. That is the Paramahamsas. They always keep quiet themselves unless someone is asking. Gauringi Mataji wanted to say anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Your association, I don't understand properly, but you all mentioned about Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu and their parcel, and then all of Mataji's and Prabhuji's listening very nicely, and then asking question and answer. I just heard Prabhuji, you are such a good person, Prabhuji. You give to us many things. You have many knowledge. I'm thinking about how is Prabhuji, how he can all of by heart. You have many sloka, then explanation also. Thank you, Prabhuji. We get your association and we get benefit. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. It is this is the association of the pure devotees. We simply repeat what is in the scriptures, what Krishna said. We are just like a parrot, repeat. It is mercy of Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas. Vande Guru, Isham Bhaktan, Isham Ishavatarakan, Tat Prakasham Tat Chakti, Krishna Chaitanya Sanjakam. It is the mercy of first Guru, Tat Bhaktan and devotees. After that, Shiva, Isham, Isham, the Lord. Tat Prakasham cha Tat Chaktihi, and then his energies. This is a sequence Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami offers. So we simply repeat their words, acharyas, walk in their footsteps. That's all we do. Asha Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'm listening carefully so I can gain knowledge from all of you. I like this question and answer part very much, Prabhu. So all my doubts are clear. Thank you, Prabhu. And thank you, Mother.
Yes, thank you so much, Mataji. So Radha Sevaki Mataji has got so many questions. I will be asking questions. It will empower to speak someone because we may be knowing something, but unless one is asking, we cannot get those slokas and explanations as being discussions. If you are not asking questions, they will stay as they are. Even Brahma was questioned by Narada Muni, then Brahma congratulating Narada Muni. You are so compassionate to me. You are kind to me. You are asking questions so that it will awaken all the pastimes of Krishna, awaken the knowledge of Krishna and everything else. Asking questions is very, very important thing. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mruda Sachi Mataji, we haven't heard it from you. Would you like to add anything to these conversations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, sorry, I just joined at last point.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So you're
Can I
all
just share something really funny? Please, it's about bhakti a little bit.
1 second, Mataji. So we shall conclude and then
Yeah. Okay.
you can share. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vastutu